The only way to officially start this celebration of love in the face of hate is to hear from a member of the most oppressed group in this country. Let's hear from a black woman who drove all the way from Iowa to meet us here. Give it up for Bonnie.
Good. All right, my name is Bonnie Brown, and I'm here from Des Moines, Iowa. I drove from Des Moines to meet these awesome activists here on the road to march with them. So I've been marching with them for a few days now, and it's been such an incredible journey from Maryland to Washington, D.C. Woo!
Power to the people!
All power to the people.
All power to the people!
All power to all the people.
We are marching on. We are marching on. We are marching on. When today, oh, deep in my heart, come on. Let's go. We'll march hand in hand. We'll march hand in hand. We'll march hand in hand today. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe that we shall
overcome someday.
Yes, indeed, my beautiful people. We are standing here today, united in justice, united for love. This is how America is supposed to look. America is not meant to cater to any one group. And if it was meant to cater to any one group, then that system must be dismantled. This must be a country for all of us, that is governed by the people, for the people. And we are what?
The people.
The people, united, will never be defeated. The people,
United will never be defeated. The people united will never be defeated. The people united will never be defeated.
The people
United will never be defeated. The people united will never be defeated. The people united will never be defeated.
The people
United
will never be defeated. The people
united will never be defeated.
The people
united
will never be defeated. The people united will never be defeated. The people united will never be defeated. The people united will never be defeated.
People united will never be defeated. People united will never be defeated. People united will never be defeated. People united.
All right, I got another old one for y'all. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me round, turn me round, turn me round. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me round. We're gonna keep on walking, keep on talking, marching on till freedom comes. I said ain't gonna let nobody turn me round. Hey, turn me round. Hey, turn me round. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me round. We're gonna keep on walking, keep on talking, marching on till freedom comes. I said ain't gonna let no Klansmen turn me round, turn me round. Turn me round, ain't gonna let no Klansmen turn me round. I'm gonna keep on walking, keep on talking, marching on the freedom cause. We said we ain't gonna let no alt-right turn us round, turn us round, turn us round. Ain't gonna let no alt-right turn us round. We're gonna keep on walking, keep on talking, marching on the freedom day. I said ain't gonna let nobody. What? What? Ain't gonna let nobody turn me around. I'm gonna keep on walking, keep on talking, marching on the freedom. Yeah! Whose street?
Our street!
Whose street?
Our street!
Whose street?
Our street!
Whose street?
Our street!
When I say agape, y'all say love. Agape.
Love!
Agape.
Love,
When I say agape, y'all say love. Agape.
love,
Agape.
love,
When I say agape, y'all say love. Agape.
love,
Agape.
love.
Y'all ready for this one? I
I
believe
believe
that we will win.
I believe that we will win.
I believe that we will win.
I believe that we will
I
win.
said I believe that we will win.
I believe that we will
I
win.
said
I believe
that peace will win.
I believe that peace will win.
I
believe
that peace will win.
I believe that peace will win.
Said
I
believe
believe
that love will win.
I believe that love will win.
Said
I
believe
believe
that love will win.
I believe that love will win.
I
believe
that love will win.
I believe that love will win.
I
believe
that love will win.
I believe that love will win.
I believe that love will win.
I believe that love will win. I believe.
Let's line up in the middle. Straighten this out, get in order. We'll stop right there, we'll swing around. Right. Yeah!
I believe
that peace will win.
I believe that peace will win.
I believe that we will win.
I believe that we will win.
I
believe
that we will win.
I believe that we will win.
I
I believe.
I believe that we will win.
I believe that we will win.
I believe.
I believe.
I believe that we will win.
I believe that we will win.
I believe.
I believe.
I believe that we will win.
I believe that we will win.
March. I believe.
I believe.
I believe that we will win.
I believe that we will win.
I
I
believe.
believe.
I believe that we will win.
I believe that we will win.
I believe.
I believe.
I believe that we will win.
I believe that we will win.
I
I
believe.
believe.
I believe that we will win.
I believe that we will win.
I believe.
I believe.
I believe that love will win.
I believe that love will win.
Say
I.
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 I believe that love will win.
I believe that love will win.
Yeah.
Mark Newsom, Samuel Harris, and myself have marched from New York City to D.C. We started on August 3rd. We landed on Turtle Island, Washington, D.C. yesterday.
Yeah.
We are promoting and messaging love. And with that, I would like the audience to participate.
Black lives. Black lives. Matter. Yeah.
So today what you'll see is just us spreading love. And you'll hear from a Rolodex of people who have come from wide swaths of the United States to be able to join us in the name of justice.
I really love this country a lot, and what I've seen on this march all the way here from New York are people just like you that have come out and they've shown love. And along that way, it's really been a heartfelt situation, because you come out by yourself. I got 3 guys, it's me, Mario, and Paul. I've known them since last year in Charlottesville. When I was there at Charlottesville last year, as soon as I got out of the car, I see a pickup truck with 6 guys in it, and they all have AK-47s and rifles. The first thing I think right there is, this is where our country's come down to. And after I walked more around, After I walked more around when I was at Charlottesville, I saw people just like you, white people, Asian people, black people, it doesn't matter, and they were on our side. And then I see a group across from us that looks just like us, but they hate us. And I just could not believe what I was seeing with my eyes. Every day we talk about, we're blessed, we gotta change, but nobody comes outside. Nobody wants to make a change. We all have our own devices. I think the biggest thing, our best friend and our worst enemy is our phones. And the reason why is because we have the ability to be able to post positive messages in this world.
No Trump, no KKK, no racist USA. No Trump.
No KKK, no racist USA. No Trump, 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 no KKK, no racist USA.
No Trump.
No KKK, no racist USA.
Hey! We are taking over our nation's capital today. We, the people. I'm honored to be here. I want to thank Hawk for your leadership. I want to thank Black Lives Matter New York. I want to thank everybody who walked from New York City to Washington, D.C. All of you who are standing with us today, proving that love indeed trumps hate. If anyone's familiar with the work of the Southern Poverty Law Center, yeah. Did you know that we've been in the business of tracking and monitoring hate and extremist groups for a very, very long time? Let me tell you, there's some good news and bad news. Hold on. So, 2017, we noted 954 active hate groups in the United States, all over the United States. Not just in the Deep South, but in virtually every state in this country. That was an increase from 2016. We also noted increase in hate crimes, and especially increase in hate crimes targeting our Muslim brothers and sisters, and those who are perceived to be immigrant. We all have to stand for everybody. We have to stand side by side on every issue. Do you hear me?
Yeah.
Every issue. Because white supremacists, white nationalists, alt-right, whatever you want to call them, they're all white supremacists. They seek to divide and conquer us. But we're standing here today saying that you won't win. We already won. We know that white supremacy is alive. It was from the beginning and the founding of this country to this very day. We, the people, stand for love, equality, and justice for each and every person.
I want to just tell you a quick story about an experience I had as a child. On a night in 1999, I was 9 years old, and I woke up to news that my synagogue in Sacramento, California had been firebombed. I proceeded to watch it burn to the ground as 3 other synagogues in the city also burned, and the 2 brothers responsible also went after an abortion clinic and murdered a gay couple. This happened in the capital of California, and it's in the place that you don't expect. It's a very, very liberal, progressive place, and hate is there too, because hate knows no geography. There are no boundaries that protect you. You cannot insulate yourself from what people feel in their hearts. As a 9-year-old, my mother was the president of the synagogue, and even as a part of a very progressive religious denomination, she was the first woman who had been allowed to serve as the president of the synagogue in the 150-year history. So she is quite an impressive woman, and I draw a lot of strength from her. But because of that, I was interviewed by the local news. I was 9 years old. I was sitting in the room in my house that the little kids weren't allowed in. It was where all the nice china was. I was wearing very, very scratchy socks. That's my most vivid memory of this night, was the socks with the lace around them. You're familiar with those as a little girl. And I was interviewed by the local news, and they asked me, what's going on? Tell me through your eyes what's happening. And all I can really remember saying is that I didn't understand. I didn't understand why someone hated me so much. I didn't understand why they hated my community, and I didn't understand why they wanted to cause us so much pain. As a result of that interview, my name and home address ended up on the hit list of those same brothers who had perpetrated the attacks the week before. So as a 9-year-old, I woke up every morning to police escorts on my way to and from elementary school. The memories from this time are an interesting commingling of the smell of burned books and ash and flashing police lights. That's my memory of my 9th year of life.
We have a white supremacist, misogynistic, homophobic president, vice president, attorney general, and we have to add Rudy Giuliani and the entire cabinet. And I want to tell you what I have to say about all of them. Arrest and impeach. I was at the Holocaust Museum yesterday, wonderful museum, and it talks about all of us. And I was at the cashier buying something from the library, from the bookstore, and a man came up to me, a white man, with a child who could have been no more than 12, and he called me a faggot. I haven't been called a faggot in about 20 years. But he has a license to speak like that because he has a president of the United States who agrees with him.
So if we're going to talk about approaching something with unity and with love, we need to talk about the fact that the system and the government in many different ways focuses on profit over people.
Hello there, I hope you hear me okay. I want to first begin by telling you why I joined these fine group of people here. I started out my march August the 4th from Vineland, New Jersey, where a young man, Rashawn Washington, was shot down by a police officer. I began that march because, as the year prior, also I did the same thing to bring attention to police brutality, police killings, and also to call attention to community violence. Because we all know everybody says stop police from killing us, but we have to stop us from killing us too. And that's something that I try to bring attention to. As I was marching down through the streets and the highways on my way through Maryland, I found out about Agape coming down from New York City. So I contacted Hulk, asked him could I join him and continue on down here to confront white supremacy. Now why would I want to confront white supremacy talking about stop killing us? Because I personally have experienced it. I'm a Marine. Marine Corps was the last branch of service to desegregate. I don't know if you knew that or not. We used to have 2 boot camps, not one. One was at Camp Johnson, one was at Camp Lejeune. Black, white. Eventually, they finally integrated, but they were the last branch to allow black Marines to trade with white Marines. As a result of that, there's some legacy there of white supremacy. Additionally, I was a participant in the march from Charlottesville, Virginia to here, Washington, D.C. last year in the march to confront white supremacy. So obviously that's something that's very near and dear to me. And since these fine people back here were doing that, I felt I was obligated to be here. So the march from Vineland, New Jersey to D.C. was halted temporarily. It will resume on Tuesday at 9 o'clock from Northeast Maryland, where we'll be hitting the road again on our way back down here. Now, while we're on our way back down here again, because we're going to present some demands and some suggestions to our lawmakers, specifically the Congressional Black Caucus, and see if they will give some hearing to those of us who are suffering from the ills in our society.
Oftentimes, the experience of indigenous people are rendered invisible. I know someone who has been my woman tour for the past 2 years. Her name is Trisha Moquino. She's Cochiti from New Mexico. And one of the things that she told me was to always recognize the role of our ancestors. And so I marched because I wanted to put at the forefront the experiences of state violence, federal violence, and police brutality against indigenous bodies.
Yeah.
And so what I wear with me is some sacred necklaces that Trisha Moquino gave me. And I told her that I'll wear it every day, every night, and I won't stop wearing these sacred bracelets and until indigenous lives matter.
All power to the people!
Yeah!
Say it with me, fist up in there! All power to the people! All power to the people!
All power to the people!
All power to the people!
All power to the people!
Alright, this is a march, a rally for love. We need to get a little together.
Yeah.
Come a little closer, let's get intimate. Take a couple steps forward. Alright. So we are gathered here today in the name of unity, confronting hatred at its darkest, deepest, and most putrid form. I am here to share a story, and I want to leave y'all with a little bit of food for thought. So I'll start with this. Last year, as Bonnie mentioned, I was in Charlottesville. Bonnie and I didn't know that we were in the same church the night before the Unite the Right rally last year. That was a moment where many of us thought we were going to die. What a lot of people don't know is that when we were inside of that church, There were Klansmen with torches on the outside, and we were not able to leave. We did not know whether or not the church was fireproof. We did not know whether or not there was an escape plan. We were pretty much sitting ducks. And it was in that moment that a black woman said to me that this is literally what our ancestors went through. And to make a long story short, after scurrying through some bushes and running through some side streets, we made it out. But the next day, a lot of us felt emboldened to confront the outright bigotry and hatred. And so, what I ended up doing personally to remind people what they were representing in the defense of General Robert E. Lee, a legitimate enemy of the state, was I put on chains. Because if you're going to talk about it, then we really got to talk about it. And so, yes, we're in a very unique time. We have an outright bigot who is in the White House, whose specific mission is to destroy and dismantle. It is the opposite of unity. It is egregious hate. And, you know, the ADL, Anti-Defamation League, released a report in the year 2017 that talked about the fact that white supremacist groups, the attacks, they doubled in 1 year. So it's clear that this is not a normal time, and it's clear that we need to stand up. But what needs to be even clearer is how we define white supremacy and how we move forward. The reason why I'm saying this is because it's not enough to go back to the year 2016 and just have business as usual. If we're going to, it's important to, you know, combat with love and unity and stand together in solidarity when there are people, you know, whether it's Nazis, KKK, alt-right, whoever is a mile over there. But we need to think about this from a big picture perspective. There's around 400 people a mile away. There's around 1,500 counter-protesters. And we understand that there are people who feel similar sentiments, you know, throughout the country. But we are a nation of 300 million plus people. There is more of us than there are of them. So look, I think it's amazing that there are people across the color spectrum and of all genders and of all identities that have recognized the importance to come together in unity and fight oppression in the most egregious forms. It makes sense. We're conditioned to see that whether it's swastikas or Confederate flags, that they represent hatred.
It's up to you to say, no, that's not all right. When you're on public transportation, on a subway, on a bus, we've all seen these viral videos of our brothers and sisters being harassed by bigots. And you know what's interesting to me in the videos is that people are always standing there, just aghast, and nobody's saying anything. We have to stand with people who are victimized and stand against hate and intolerance, otherwise it becomes normalized.
We are going to stand in solidarity with these amazing folks who have marched all the way from New York City so that they can create a safer space for us.
I want to say, I saw a little kid walk up with his mother wearing a Trump t-shirt. What I want to say to his mother is that you're guilty of teaching your child hatred and racism, and I believe that you're guilty of child abuse.
No Trump, no KKK, no racist USA. No Trump.
No KKK, no racist USA. No Trump, 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 no KKK, no racist USA.
No Trump.
No KKK, no racist USA.
White supremacy is the fact that 97% of court cases end up in plea deals because people are too afraid to actually face the real consequences because they don't have the money to really handle it, okay? White supremacy is ingrained in the fact that the war on drugs was explicitly designed to dismantle black and brown communities at every single level, to dismantle the family, to dismantle education, to dismantle health. We need to handle this issue at its core. It's great that people want to come out and show up at these egregious forms of white supremacy when it's obvious, but at the end of the day, Black people, trans people, Latinx people, LGBTQIA people, Asian American people, women, all marginalized communities suffer from the effects of white supremacy 365 days a year.
We have to be able to acknowledge our role, not to restore our nation, but to go back and restore Turtle Island so that indigenous communities can fully feel and embrace the authenticity and the value of their culture. From 1492 to 1865, 373 years of indigenous colonization and slavery. From 1865 to 1965, an additional 100 years, 4 generations experienced the violence of Jim and Jane Crow. From 1965 to 2018, 53 years, we have issues like mass incarceration, the school to prison pipeline, the school to deportation pipeline, and the school to incarcerated minds pipeline, which I think is one of the most evil effects of white supremacy, is that it lives and it also breathes in our consciousness. And so what we have to do as people is to evict white supremacy from our consciousness. That is the only type of ideology that needs to be homeless. And so how do we construct and build a nation where we evict white supremacy? Well, we do things that are simple as listening to what this nation was refounded on. Some of the ideals of the emblem, some of the ideals that represented the flag, and not that I'm saying that I support in any way all the messages that revolves around our nation's capital and the United States as a whole, but if we're not even listening to the fact of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, what is a nation that doesn't even listen to itself? And I feel like that's where we are. We are a nation that do not listen to itself.
I said love cannot exist in a vessel of hate. So that's right. So even though all of these things have happened to us in our lives, every day we navigate white supremacy, we navigate anti-blackness, we navigate misogyny, transphobia, homophobia.
We live uncomfortable every single day of our lives, and it is because of the fact that the system is working exactly how it is designed to work. And only when we come together, only when we unify, and when we approach this with a heart-centered, loving mindset, can we actually create systems, processes, and institutions that will ensure the actual founding fathers' words of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Let's really talk about it. So, the way that I see things, the founding fathers did amazing things. They established a country based ostensibly on principles of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. But these were not perfect people. A lot of them owned human beings. And let's really talk about it. So these systems that have been created with this twisted and perverted logic to essentially appeal to white male landowners, it exists to this day. And there has been a systemic process of dehumanization that has been perpetuated, whether it's black men being called super predators in the 90s, or the fact that Trump himself is calling, whether it's the Latinx population, murderers or rapists, or black people as thugs, or people who are coming from majority Islamic countries, equating them as snakes or equating other people as animals. These are similar tactics of dehumanization that have existed since the days of the Holocaust and before.
Organized power.
Organized people will always defeat organized power.
Organized power.
Organized people will always defeat organized power.
Organized
organize people